Imagine being trapped in a hospital bed, so much pain you can hardly breathe. This pain has lasted every second of every day for months. You watch your loved ones trickle in and out and have to watch their break over and over while you perish in pain. You think back to when you were healthy and vibrant and want to remember those times and to be remembered in those ways. Any way but this. Would you want to be able to have an escape? This is an all too real situation and why death with dignity is such an important conversation. I first became aware of death with dignity in 2005 when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I had to slowly watch this disease take over my best friend and mentor's mind. I will never forget the scared and confused look behind his eyes at all times. I remember once in the nursing home when he had a moment of clarity and stated, "I would rather be dead," and it is the moment that will always traumatize me. Although death with dignity would not have helped in my grandfather's case, it is still a proper first step in saving lives through death. After I go over the exact definition of what death with dignity is, I will then explain why it should be legalized due to it being a fundamental human right and why the definitions of the law should be changed. There are two different types of death with dignity, and the main difference between the two is who performs the final fatal act. In both cases, it is when a mentally capable adult is diagnosed with a terminally ill disease with less than 6 months to live and is allowed to choose death. With euthanasia, the final deed is undertaken by someone other than the individual, usually a physician. With physician-assisted suicide, it's helping someone to take their own life at their request. It's usually a patient is prescribed a lethal dose of drugs and they can take them on their own terms. As you can see, cancer rates are still on the rise in the United States. This graph is from 1980 to 2018, and we still do not have a cure for cancer. It was estimated that for last year, there would be 1,762,450 new cases of cancer and 606,880 deaths in the United States. Also, the UCLA biostatistics team found that Alzheimer's disease is going to be a major epidemic. As you can see from this graph, from 2005 to 2050, it is projected that the rates will quadruple from 25 million to 106 million. Should people not have the choice of a way to get out? Death with dignity is a fundamental human right. We are granted by the Constitution certain inalienable rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Would you not agree that life is a part of death? Is a person pursuing happiness when they are suffering every day? Americans are supposed to be free. I do not believe that being forced to live in pain and having to watch your family suffer is being a free man. 72% of Americans are in support of death with dignity, while only 10 states have legalized it. The statistics do not add up. As of right now, only a person with a terminal illness of less than 6 months to live can be recognized by the law. Alzheimer's is a disease that takes years for onset, but it is still terminal. Not being able to take care of yourself or even have memories is suffering in an immense way. A person should have the right to choose while they are in their capable mind if they want in the future to be able to die before the suffering is too much. In the Netherlands in 2016, there was a case that involved a 74-year-old woman who had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's 4 years before. She had already witnessed her mother go through the terrible disease and did not want the same fate to befall upon herself. So her and her physician decided together that when the time was right, when she was suffering way more than her happiness levels, that she would be put to death. They signed copious amounts of documents stating he had the right to end her life when it was deemed fair. However, after the doctor supplied the lethal dose with the family in support, he was put on trial for murder. In the end, he was acquitted, but after much controversy. The controversy mostly arose because at the time of the patient's death, she was not of sound mind to make the decision, even though she had already, when in her sound mind, decided she wanted to die over suffer. I wholeheartedly agree with the doctor's decision and believe this is why the laws need to be changed. The laws need to be changed so that they can be understood clearly and spelled out, so there's no confusion like this. Before a person is not of sound mind but diagnosed with dementia, they should be able to sign documents stating they want death with dignity when the time is right. No one should have to endure the suffering of their mind being stolen from them. Now that I've explained exactly what death with dignity is, I hope you ask yourself some important questions. How would you want to pass? How would you want a loved one to pass? Let's not force a person's life to be defined by their ending. Everyone wishes to go peacefully in their sleep with loved ones around, so let's not take this freedom away from another human being ever again.